Honorable Speaker, Chief Minister, Ministers, Leader of Opposition, and Honorable Members. It is my honor and privilege to address this august body of representatives of the people of Kerala, marking the beginning of the first session of the 15th Kerala Legislative Assembly. Before proceeding to elaborate on the current situation and the policies of my government, let me state that my government has come into office by winning a renewed mandate from the people of Kerala. My government will continue to implement the welfare and development programs of the previous government and is committed to lead the state towards far-reaching growth in all sectors of the economy, benefiting all sections of the society. The fruits of economic growth shall bypass none. There shall not be a divide in the society, with some of the sections being marginalized. There shall be no divide on the digital front either. The policies and programs of my government will always have these goals built into them. My government has unflinching faith in democracy, secularism, and welfare of the people. My government is committed to protect the unity and integrity of the nation while recognizing the spirit of unity in diversity. Our strength is the underlying core of unity in spite of linguistic, religious, and ideological differences. To strengthen this unity, we need to strive to eradicate the inequalities based on gender, socio-economic status, and physical disabilities. My government is committed to make the promises made in the election manifesto a reality. My government believes that pledges made to the people are to be redeemed continuously and are not once merely to be reiterated at 5-year intervals. My government has begun its functioning by initiating steps to implement key promises made in the election manifesto. I state with satisfaction that my government remains committed to the promises made to the people. We meet today as the specter of the COVID-19 pandemic is still haunting countries across the world. Kerala too has been affected badly, but we have been able to contain the case fatality rate. This has been made possible by effective, coordinated functioning of the departments concerned. The health, police, disaster management, local self-government, revenue were in the lead. The people's participation within the framework of empowered local self-governments deserves special mention. The administrative machinery has been working much beyond their normal call of duty. In the face of this unprecedented challenge, a counter-cyclical fiscal policy to stimulate the economy has been initiated lest the economic slowdown should become steeper. My government is trying its level best to provide care to the vulnerable sections of the society. My government believes that it is its first duty to foster the feeling that getting care is the right of everyone and not a favor or a privilege. In the initial days of the first wave of the pandemic, my government came out with a comprehensive COVID-19 relief package to the tune of Rs 20,000 crore, aimed at benefiting almost every section of the society. As part of this package, payment of welfare pensions were made up to date, benefiting 47.2 lakh beneficiaries. 150 crore rupees was set aside for payment of one-time relief of rupees 1,000 per family for 14.7 lakh BPL households, which are not getting welfare pensions. 100 crore rupees was set aside for providing free food grains to families in need, while rupees 50 crore was set aside for provision of subsidized meal at 20 rupees through Jankiya hotels. Universal distribution of free kits containing essential articles at a monthly cost of 400 crore rupees was done for around 90 lakh families in the state. My government is of the view that the trauma of COVID-19 has affected people irrespective of their economic status. Hence, the decision to make this benefit not a targeted one, at least initially. 1,000 crore rupees was set aside for comprehensive health package, focus of which was to improve public health infrastructure and to equip the state to face the pandemic. Loans worth 2,000 crore rupees were distributed through Kutumb Shri mission to women self-help groups. 2,000 crore rupees was set aside for the expansion of the employment guarantee programs. 14,000 crore rupees was set aside to clear all the arrear payments by my government till April 2020, including pension, welfare assistance to informal sector workers, deferred bill payments of contractors, and scholarships for students. Deferment in payment of various utility charges, including electricity bills and water charges. In the current second wave of pandemic, which is now raging in Kerala, my government has announced 1,000 crore rupees as ex gratia payments to all the 14.7 lakh BPL families who are not in receipt of any other welfare pension. Other beneficial measures like distribution of kits of essential articles and prompt payment of Social Security and Welfare Board pensions have also been initiated. My government has clearly stated that it will provide preventive vaccination against COVID-19 free of cost to all. Have also been initiated. My government has clearly stated shall be treated that as it will provide preventive vaccination against COVID-19 and non-exclusive. Due to the policy of differential pricing of vaccines, the additional cost to the state exchequer will be at least 1,000 crore rupees. Despite the fiscal constraints, my government has stepped forward to meet these fresh commitments by floating a global tender for the procurement of 3 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccines, as well as by placing orders with domestic manufacturers for 1 crore doses. It is pertinent to mention that many, including those who are not from the well-to-do sections of society, have come forward to donate substantial amounts to Chief Minister's Distress Relief Fund for enabling my government to meet the cost of procurement of vaccine. Here the undaunted willpower of the people of Kerala is on display again. In the health sector, the quick expansion of institutional capacity by addition of ICU beds, ventilators, and enhanced oxygen supply was bolstered through the setting up of field hospitals as COVID first line and second line treatment centers to cater to the patients in a graded manner. The creation of this surge capacity has enabled Kerala to divert some of the pressure on its core hospital facilities and thus ensure that some of the distressing scenes witnessed elsewhere are avoided in Kerala. This is combined with free treatment for COVID-19 in government hospitals across the state and cashless treatment coverage for 42 lakh poor families under the Karuna Arogya Suraksha Paddhati in 584 private hospitals in the state. The strength and ability of Kerala's health system to withstand the unprecedented challenge posed by COVID-19 pandemic are derived from the decentralized, people-centric, system-building approach. This has come in for mention as a model worthy of emulation in publications of institutions like the Reserve Bank of India. The state of Kerala also aligned itself to the Sustainable Development Goals approach by imbibing its essence and carving out a unique mission called Ardram Mission. It focuses mainly on strengthening primary health care by invigorating primary health centers with more human resources and transforming them into family health centers with more functional elements such as enhanced field level activities engaging local communities. Even though over 22 lakh COVID-19 cases have been confirmed in Kerala till date, we could limit the mortality to 6,612. In the early phase of the pandemic, the scrupulous tracing and isolation of persons coming into contact with infected individuals was ensured, thereby preventing the spread of the virus within the community. This public health strategy, perfected through the effective containment of the Nipah virus, was supplemented with the immensely successful Break the Chain campaign that urged the people to partner in these efforts through self-protection, hygiene, and social distancing. As the pandemic then progressed, public messaging was continuously modified to evolve with it, leading to other successful campaigns such as Back to Basics and the recent Crush the Curve. The district administrations and the local self-governments of Kerala, both rural and urban, have played a critical role in the management of the first wave of COVID-19 pandemic as well as its second surge. The ward-level committees in all the local self-governments across the state, with the participation of community volunteers, are taking a lead role in coordinating the field-level activities, including surveillance, managing the COVID first-line treatment centers, the domiciliary care centers, and supporting people in home isolation. They also ensure that regular supply of food and medicines are made available to the households in need. Local self-governments are also running community kitchens with the aim to ensure food security and prevent starvation. Jankia hotels to provide meals at affordable rates are also being run, with Kutum Shri taking the lead role. The last year was an extremely difficult one for the state's economy and the society. It is estimated that our gross state domestic product would decline by about 3.82% in 2021. We expected a sharp recovery in the economic growth to 6.60% in 21-22. But the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic can be an impediment to this expectation. The downturn in the growth of GSDP would naturally have its adverse consequences on the state's revenue receipts. It has already witnessed a decline of 18.77% in 2021 as against the original budget estimate. Though we expected a sharp rise of 37.87% growth in revenue receipts in 21-22, the consequences of lockdown necessitated by a surge in COVID-19 is likely to constrain this. Coupled with the additional expenditure commitments, the state finances is likely to witness higher revenue deficit as well as fiscal deficit. Once we achieve a higher growth rate, we can grow out of the deficits and debts. I would like to point out that as per the estimates of the 15th Finance Commission, the state's GSDP is expected to grow at 13.1% in the 5-year period of 21-26. Our state has been placed in the category of highest growing states. We need to achieve this projected growth rate to meet the emerging challenges. But this task has been made harder by the unprecedented challenges consequent to the pandemic. We achieved high levels of plan and social sector spending, including on health, in the last financial year through higher levels of borrowings, which has pushed our debt to GSDP ratio to over 36%. Consequent to the strident demand of the states, including Kerala, the union government relented to raise the annual borrowing limit from 3 to 5% of the GSDP. However, only 0.5% of this additional borrowing limit was unconditional. Though my government has its considered opinion on the imposition of conditionalities in this, as they run counter to the basic principles of cooperative federalism, we agreed to implement the reforms suggested in a manner which did not adversely affect the citizens. It is noteworthy that we have been successful in getting the entire 1.5% additional borrowing limit based on conditionalities relating to the power sector, public distribution system, one nation, one ration card, ease of doing business, and urban sector. Despite financial constraints, my government also implemented the 5-year pay revision for government employees as per our commitment. My government is committed to travel along the path of fiscal consolidation, but the resurgence of COVID-19 and the consequent Caesar effect, that is, falling revenues and rise in expenditure commitments, might constrain us to press the pause button on deficit targets. My government remains committed to ensure that the state continues on a path of growth with equity. That has brought it to the first position in the Niti Aayog's index on the Sustainable Development Goals among all Indian states. My government hopes to restructure and transform the state into a knowledge economy. The budget presented on 15th January 2021 highlighted this model and focused on providing higher employment opportunities for the educated unemployed in the state through various new schemes, including a digital platform through KDISC to ensure jobs for at least 20 lakh people over a 5-year period. The budget had also proposed higher levels of investment in higher education, in the digital economy, and in setting up centers of excellence in higher education in the state. It focused on facilitating 2,500 startups, setting up of an innovation fund for the local self-government, and providing higher levels of assistance to major universities for building their infrastructure, higher levels of investment in the digital economy, including completion of K-Phone project and distribution of laptops to students. These initiatives will transform Kerala's economy. Kerala's development experience has unique characteristics that make it distinct. In the past, we achieved a high level of human development indicators with a low per capita income. This was made possible by public intervention in social sectors sustained by the community-based mass movement. This helped our people to migrate within the country and abroad and send a part of their earnings as remittances to the state. This catalyzed the growth of our per capita incomes. Presently, our per capita GSDP is 60% higher than the national average. As already mentioned, Kerala not only ranks first in Sustainable Development Goals, India Index of the Niti Aayog for 2019, it also tops the Devolution Index across all states with regard to devolution of funds, functions, and functionaries to local self-governments. However, Kerala's development experience faces two key challenges which cannot be lost sight of. Kerala's capital expenditure in the areas of social and physical infrastructure needs to be augmented, and more quality jobs need to be created for our youth and those who faced career break. It is to meet these twin challenges that my government created a dedicated and unique investment agency named Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board for ensuring adequate investment in both social and physical infrastructural sectors. This has also been supplemented by attracting support from multilateral and bilateral donors for the Rebuild Kerala initiative to create climate-resilient infrastructure in the state. Our budget has manifold schemes for tackling the second major challenge of providing employment. I now turn to the details of the schemes and programs of the different departments, their notable achievements, and their plans for the future. Agriculture Development and Farmer Welfare Department. All Krishi Bhavans in the state will be converted to smart Krishi Bhavans. Research findings of scientists from Kerala Agricultural University and allied sector institutions will be fully utilized for increasing the production potential of crops in the state. My government is committed to raise farmers' incomes by 50% in the next 5 years. Value addition will be strengthened for this purpose by agro-processing and marketing and establishing new small-scale food processing industries and agro-parks. The production of vegetables in Kerala will be increased to attain self-sufficiency in vegetables during the next 5 years. The production of planing materials will be doubled during the next 5 years, and the availability and distribution to farmers will be done through online portal. New nursery law will be enacted to ensure the quality of planting materials supplied to farmers. The base price of crops included in the base price program will be enhanced every year, and more crops will be included in the program. For improving and creating awareness among the public about public health, new nutrition garden will be established. For enhancing the paddy cultivation, block level monitoring committee will be formed. New block level call centers will be established. Opportunity of urban farming will be explored. Animal Husbandry and Dairy Development Department. As part of the comprehensive reorganization of Animal Husbandry Department in a farmer-friendly manner, round-the-clock veterinary services will be extended to all the 77 taluks. A new center of excellence in goat will be made functional at Parasala in Thiruvananthapuram district under the National Livestock Mission. To ensure optimum milk production and reproductive capacity, the calf rearing scheme will be expanded in scope and coverage. The employment opportunity in animal husbandry and dairy sectors will be increased by 50% by providing assistance to farmers through Animal Resource Development Scheme. Value addition to make milk-based products will be focused upon. Ambulances will be provided in all 152 block panchayats for doorstep veterinary service to farmers. Kerala State Dairy Management Information Center will be established as a repository for accessing information and data by all stakeholders. Ayush Department. Through 1,206 specialized Ayur Raksha clinics under the Department of Indian System of Medicine and Ayurveda Medical Education, Ayurvedic preventive medicines were distributed to quarantined people, those at high risk, and senior citizens. The data compiled by the department shows that more than 23 lakh people have been covered under the Ayurvedic prevention strategy as on 20th May 2021. The data compiled by the department shows that more than 23 lakh people have been covered under the Ayurvedic prevention strategy as on 20th May 2021. Bheshajam, the Ayurvedic management program for category A COVID-19 patients, has reached out to about 157,000 COVID-19 positive patients, while Punarjani, the Ayurvedic convalescent care program for post-COVID patients, covered around 153,000 people as on 20th May 2021. In the current second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Ayush Department has worked out a detailed plan to expand the scope and reach of the Ayurvedic and homeopathic prevention strategy. The proposed International Research Institute for Ayurveda at Kannur, once established, will facilitate the scientific validation and systematic documentation of Ayurvedic therapies. Backward Communities Development Department. My government is committed to fiscally empower the Backward Classes Development Corporation. My government has given additional guarantee for an amount of 300 crore rupees to the corporation. The issues faced by the converted Christians will also be addressed in adequate measure. Coastal Shipping and Inland Navigation Department. The main arterial waterway of the state is the West Coast Canal, which connects Kovalam in the south to Bekel in the north, extending to a length of 616 kilometers. The development of West Coast Canal and the proposed new canal formation are envisaged in 3 stages: improving the basic amenities and enhancing the standards of state waterways commensurate with the standards of national waterways, and improving the cargo movement by facilitating up to 500 tons are the targets envisaged in the 3rd stage by the end of 2025. Cooperation Department. The recent policies of the central government have been retrogressive as far as the cooperative sector is concerned. However, my government will continue its efforts to strengthen cooperative sector. 25 cooperative societies will be formed in the state for young entrepreneurs and service providers to attract more youth to cooperation. A paddy cooperative society with statewide jurisdiction will be formed, and 2 modern rice mills in the model of Palakkad rice mill will be established. A society for artists, musicians, performing artists, dramatists will be formed in the model of Sahitya Pirvartaka Sahkarana Sangathan. The integrated software for the Kerala Bank will be put in place during this year, and the state will continue its efforts to include Malappuram districts also in the service network of Kerala Bank. The Kerala Bank came into existence on 29th November 2020. My government made an equity infusion of 400 crore rupees in the Kerala Bank. The bank will be able to provide all modern banking facilities such as interest banking, mobile banking, IMPS, RTGS, NEFT, ATM, wallet, UPI services to member societies and the general public at affordable rate. Core banking solutions will be introduced among all primary agricultural cooperative societies in the state. Cooperative markets will start functioning in all districts in the year 21-22. An e-marketing platform under Co-op Mart scheme will be developed and made operational. The scheduled caste, scheduled tribes development cooperatives of the state will be revamped under Punarjani scheme out of assistance under state plan funds for ensuring employment opportunities to the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe population. PEPCO's the modern rice mill at Palakkad under the cooperative sector, implemented with the consultancy support of NABARD, will start commercial production during this financial year. Devas from department. My government is implementing the Sabrimala Idattavalam project with the assistance of KIIFB to provide better facilities for Sabrimala pilgrims to meet their primary requirements of rest and comfort. Culture. In order to extend livelihood support to the Kerala traditional and rural craftsmen and to create stable market avenues for them, a new project called the Rural Art Hub scheme is being implemented in 14 heritage art craft villages in the state. Around 2,000 craftsmen are targeted to receive benefits under the scheme. A financial assistance to the tune of 10.25 crore rupees has been dispersed to around 66,000 artists and cultural activists as COVID assistance during the first wave of the pandemic in 2020. Construction of 14 major cultural complexes in the name of Kerala's Renaissance leaders, one each in every district, is a landmark project undertaken under the Cultural Affairs Department. The Malayalam mission was able to set up chapters in 32 foreign countries and 22 Indian states. It launched an internet radio service called Radio Malayalam, which is a notable achievement. During this financial year 21-22, a Kerala Culture Museum will be set up to showcase the unique culture of Kerala. The proposed museum will throw light on Kerala's past ethnic and community life. Local cultural centers would be set up as cultural activity hubs to create a venue for the local artists and promote literary discourses. The Rural Art Hub scheme would be extended as rural art and craft hubs to include more art and craft villages. In the wake of the second wave of COVID-19, an online cultural festival will be organized to create a platform for the performance of artists and extend support to them. Electronics and Information Technology Department. The focus of Kerala State IT Mission in 21-22 will be to upgrade the data centers forming the backbone of the IT infrastructure, setting up of an Aadhaar data vault, unified state portal, Center of Excellence for Data Analytics and Artificial Intelligence, and implementation of single sign-on. Currently, 2,000 public Wi-Fi hotspots have been set up in the state to provide free internet in public places. This will be expanded K-Phone project with a vision to ensure last mile connectivity to government offices in the state and to provide free high-speed internet to the poor families will be expanded. State Service Delivery Gateway Portal and M-Keralam application will bring e-governance facilities to the common people. Electronic file processing system will be implemented in all the government establishments to ensure timely action and more transparency. By the end of the financial year 2021, Technopark had built around 10.27 million square feet and InfoPark had built around 9 million square feet space for IT industry. 450 and 425 IT companies are established in Technopark and InfoPark respectively, and they provide direct employment opportunities to 1.2 lakh IT staff. My government supported the technology companies operating from the government-owned IT buildings by way of providing 3 months rent waiver schemes and rent-free period scheme in the light of COVID-19 pandemic. Several multinational companies are in the process of functioning and expanding their establishments in IT parks of the state. TCS is expected to start the construction work of TCS Aerospace Hub in the 97 acres allotted at the TechnoCity campus, Thiruvananthapuram, during 2021. InfoPark Thrissur, with 39 companies, is functioning across different verticals and categories and has created over 1,100 employment opportunities in a semi-urban location. Infrastructure build-up of the project Technology Innovation Zone, Kalamaseri, and Village Knowledge Center, Kannur, will be commissioned by Kerala State IT Infrastructure Limited. Kalamaseri will become the biggest hardware ecosystem in the country with the launching of TIZ. The Kerala Startup Mission executes major programs such as Youth Entrepreneurship Program and Technology Innovative Project. For the establishment and growth of technology startup ecosystem in Kerala, 3,900 startups, 4 accelerators, 40 incubators, and 280 mini incubators and 30,000 aspiring entrepreneurs have been created so far by Kerala Startup Mission. The ongoing schemes of Kerala Startup Mission will continue in 21-22. K-Wins, a program focused on tapping the capacity of educated unemployed women initiated in 2021, will continue. My government has promulgated an ordinance for restructuring Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Kerala, into a university named the Kerala University of Digital Sciences, Innovation and Technology. The university would focus mainly on research, education, outreach programs, and thereby develop itself as a center of excellence in digital technology and allied areas. Maker Village, Kochi, is the country's largest hardware deep technology incubator and is implemented by the Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Kerala, and with Kerala Startup Mission as the partner. The university will be encouraged to reach out to support government in skilling of youth to tap the new age digital jobs. International Center for Free and Open Source Software is working in collaboration with free software organization in India and abroad for the promotion, propagation, and application of free software. ICFOSS, designated as the state nodal agency for Malayalam computing, has developed and released 10 software solutions for public use as part of localization of technology and aims to set up a research center to make effective use of Malayalam language in the field of e-governance. The Center for Development of Imaging Technology has been functioning as a technology solution provider in the government sector for more than 3 decades now. In the coming year, CDIT's focus is in strengthening managed security services, augmented reality, virtual reality facilities, augmented reality, augmentation of research and development activities, upgradation of security, document forensic lab, augmentation of video production facility for web channels, augmentation of infrastructure facilities of digital archiving center in CDIT, and the completion of ICT building for CDIT at Tiruvananthapuram. My government is committed to provide all government services online to citizens without any applicant having to visit a government office. The project will be inaugurated on 2nd October 2021, the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. Environment Department. As per Coastal Regulation Zone Notification 2019, the draft Coastal Zone Management Plan for all the coastal districts was prepared by Kerala Coastal Zone Management Authority and is pending finalization. Under the plan scheme, climate resilient farming, development of a model climate resilient agriculture practice in Munro Island in Kollam district is in progress. In the current year, State Action Plan on Climate Change shall be revised in accordance with the National Action Plan on Climate Change to support the state in responding to global climate change by building capacities for climate change actions, and to make Kerala a climate resilient state through improved climate change governance and services linking climate science, policies, and people. Online processing of applications for Coastal Regulation Zone clearance for residential buildings shall also commence by financial year 21-22. Excise Department. The Vimukti Vision has been launched by my government to achieve the goal of drug-free Kerala. The Vimukti Mission, in collaboration with government hospitals, has set up 14 Vimukti de-addiction centers to provide treatment to persons who got into the habit of drug abuse. Till date, 44,673 people have been treated through these de-addiction centers. A Vimukti Jagrata Samiti will be formed with the ward member or councillor of the respective local self-government as its convener to trace out the illicit use and consumption of drugs. The Samiti will intimate the Excise Department in case any further follow-up is required on this issue. My government aims to make school and college campuses drug-free. There are currently 5,741 anti-drug clubs functioning at school and college levels. Anti-drug clubs will be extended to all schools, public and private, and the Awakening project will be implemented in selected schools in all districts. Fisheries and harbour engineering. The Punargeham project, with an outlay of 2,450 crore for the rehabilitation of 18,685 fisherfolk families residing within 50 miles of high tide line will be expedited. Inland fish production shall be doubled by focusing on new technologies like biofloc aquaculture systems, recirculatory aquaculture systems, and intensive aquaculture. In the present COVID-19 situation, door-to-door delivery of fresh fish at reasonable price will be promoted.